Welcome to Coffee and Conversation with Tiki Tonga. We're here today with Sarah McKenna and her father Neil. Coffee and Conversation is something that we've been doing at Tiki Tonga for a few years now. It's all about bringing people together through a cup of coffee and engaging over a good conversation. Hope you enjoy it. So Neil, obviously you've been a massive fan of the club ever since Vicarage Road. You've got your vintage shirt on, as we can see underneath there. So obviously, what's been your affiliation with the club? Obviously, you must be so proud to have Sarah involved and doing well at Saracens.
Yeah, I'm really pleased that that Sarah's playing for Saracens. I mean, it's something that, you know, I never dreamed of when she first started playing. I mean, when she was when she was playing minis and she was playing for Harpenden. We were told about the Saracens team. And the fact that they played at Vicarage Road, and we were invited to come along, and I just loved going to matches with Sarah. I became a member of the Saracens Supporters Club, and that's how I got the shirt.
So Sarah, what made you fall in love with rugby?
Don't know what made me fall in love with it in the first place, but went down to a mini session at age 6 at Harpenden because we had some family friends who played also. And I was pretty boisterous, energetic young kid, so it just seemed to fit at the time. And then pretty quick sharp, Dad became the coach. So whether I wanted to come or not, I was dragged along.
I'll tell you a funny story now.
She couldn't make up any excuses.
Every Sunday,
The funny story is, she went down. My friend's boys were playing at Harpenden, and he said to me, "Why don't you bring Sarah down on a Sunday to watch?" And so I took Sarah down. She kept saying to me, "Dad, I want to go back to Harpenden. I want to go back there next Sunday." So I went back the following Sunday, and they said to me, "You've played a bit of rugby before, haven't you?" I said, "Well, yeah, a bit of rugby, but nothing serious." And they said, "Well, we haven't got a coach for the under-7s. Do you fancy being the coach?" So I didn't really have a choice because she wanted to play, and they didn't have a coach. So I got sucked in. So then it was a case of me having to go around to other parents and saying, "Have you ever played a bit of rugby? Do you fancy doing a little bit of coaching?" Well, what do I do? Oh, well, just sort of stand around and make sure the kids don't sort of throw mud at each other all the time.
That's the best bit, throwing mud.
Yeah.
That's the reason I fell in love.
That's what got me into rugby.
That's why I fell in rugby. It was to roll mud balls. That was my studs that were that long.
When you think of Sarah's career so far, what memory stands out the most to you?
What memory stands out the most for me? Well, I suppose playing for England. To be honest, I mean, I love Saracens. The fact she plays for Saracens, but you can't go any higher than that, can you? Playing for your country.
And it's numerous caps as well. It's not like it was a short stint. You've been involved for a while now.
Yeah, we've come and watched a lot of games. So we did when I was involved in the Sevens. Used to come out to Dubai and come to some pretty exotic places. So it was nice to
Amsterdam.
Yeah, nice for you to come out and watch and seeing you in the crowd, no matter how far away we were from home, and being over to Canada to watch. So it's always good having sort of the parents coming along.
Travelling involved as well.
Yeah.
Chucking mud at Harpenden to Dubai and Canada.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So obviously, Sarah, behind every successful athlete is a mentor or a person who helped shape their career. Who was that for you?
Well, obviously it's this guy here. Obviously wouldn't be here today without that. Dad would take me along to like anything and anything going. So any trial going on, any extra training session, anything going on with Saracens, like we used to go up to Bramley Road, didn't we, on those days, and when they had supporters days and anything like that, I was there, and like no questions asked. And you always just wanted me to be involved in any opportunity, like you helped me take it and seize it, and not just with rugby, but there was always any sport going on, and you'd be there supporting, whether it was just a local netball match or a rounders tournament. He'd be there, and Mum would be there too, and I'd be there like in all the kit, ready to go. No questions asked. I was never left like looking at the sideline like, where's Mum, where's Dad? They're always right there.
So. Well, that's a great way to lead into no question. Have you ever played another sport together?
Probably what we used to do most together was go out running. So when I was pretty young, we used to go out for runs, and probably like 3Ks and 3 miles and stuff like that.
Yeah, we used to do that one in the park, didn't we, at St Albans?
Yeah, we used to do the 1.5 mile around Verulam Park. Yeah, fun run. But no, like, I remember us going out running a lot, and Dad's always been a massively keen runner. You've done marathons and stuff like that. But I remember like getting into the first sort of K and having a stitch here, like stitch in your shoulder and all that. And he'd be like, you've just got to get past the first pain barrier, and then you'll be past it. And I wouldn't believe him, but then like a couple of 100 metres later it'd be gone. Yeah. And I'd be in like full stride. So he'd always
second wins.
100%. And he'd always keep me going. And I guess sometimes when people tell people that story, they're like, oh, like it sounds like he was like one of those pushy parents. But I think you guys are always like really supportive in the best way, and not in that like not massive expectations, just like do as well as you can, no matter where you finish. Like we're always so proud of you.
So what's the best piece of advice your dad has ever given you?
I don't know, I guess it's probably not a single phrase that like stands out or anything like that. Nothing corny or cliche, but I think you always just wanted me to enjoy it, and that was the most important thing. If I wasn't enjoying it, then why do it?
I think my words to her were just follow your heart, you know, because there were lots of times when I think Sarah felt, you know, that rugby didn't pay financially, and therefore, you know, there wasn't any future in it. And I said, look, just follow your heart, you know, just go with it. If you want to play rugby, I'll support you. Yeah. You know, we'll support you financially if we can, you know, we'll just do whatever we can for you.
What do you like most about being a dad?
I just love seeing what they can achieve.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, both my kids have done well. The fact that she's followed her heart and gone into something like rugby and achieved and gone right to the top, that is really satisfying for me, because when I think about it, I wish I'd done that.
Really?
Yeah.
What, rugby or?
Well, any sport.
Anything.
Yeah.
Just gone for it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a great player at school, but you know, I wish maybe I'd dedicated myself a bit more to sport. You know.
Okay. And what do you admire most about your dad?
I think not all. Like Dad works like incredibly hard and always has done. Like since I've like being a kid, like I've always seen how hard he works. Like every hour under the sun sometimes, and his job can be incredibly stressful, and always incredibly conscientious about your work. And I know like the level of detail that you have to go into with work. And I know you've said that about other people would just maybe cut corners and make mistakes, but he'd never do that. And he'd sort of be working till midnight before we were about to go on holiday, just because you were so dedicated and didn't want to let anyone down. So I think, you know, not only did he do that, you know, because you were putting your name to that work and you were really, you know, wanted to put a good product out there, but also like he wanted us to have the best life possible and provide that for us. So it's pretty like a massive commitment, and you know, me and my sister appreciate it so much, and you know, we're very fortunate to have you work so hard for us.
Absolutely.
It's nice.
Well, let's go on to some more fun questions, I suppose. Neil, when was the last time you laughed until you cried together? Do you mind sharing what that was about?
Probably any Sunday night.
Any Sunday night?
Yeah.
What's usual? What
so we usually have a roast
dinner
at home.
Yeah.
And then we'd go through all of like what everyone has done that week and all the boring bits and pieces, and then we'd start then just something
nice
stupid. Dad usually put on an accent, and you're never afraid to make fun of yourself and sort of be the bit of the clown so that we get a good laugh.
Yeah. So what is your best holiday memory with your dad? Where would you go?
Oh, I was thinking about this earlier. We've had loads of holidays together, and I think actually the one that springs to mind is probably like way back when we were at Centre Parks and we were with Nanny and Grandad. Yeah. And we told Grandad that the plunge pool, the freezing cold plunge pool, was like a jacuzzi. Yeah. And he jumped in it, and I've never heard a noise. I've never heard a noise like that before, and I've never heard a noise like that since.
Especially from your dad as well, yeah.
No, from Grandad.
Oh, Grandad,
so he was probably like 80 at the time, and he just jumped, like tombstoned into this plunge pool that was like -5.
It could have killed him off.
It could have killed, no, it wasn't -5, it was bloody cold. But it actually could have killed him.
Yeah.
And do you have any similarities between you two? Are you more
like in some ways, but not in others. I think, like I said, Dad's like incredibly like detail focused and it's quite serious and considers lots of consequences. But I sort of don't live my life like that.
No.
Sort of a lot more on the edge, and I suppose with my lifestyle and like with my career, I'm fortunate that I sort of don't have the same, commitments that he does.
Oh no, but you do. You know, you definitely have commitments, and and you put a hell of a lot of work into your rugby. I mean, I have to put a lot of detail into my work, and I have to work very conscientiously. But you have to work at your rugby. You put just as much time and effort into playing rugby as I do into my work.
Yeah, I guess when he's sat at a desk and I'm on my feet running around, it feels very different. But I guess it's a really like valid point, and sometimes you don't see it like that. And when you're on the rugby pitch, everything seems like pretty rosy and fun. But I guess that's just a small amount of what everyone sees, a small token of all the hard work.
When I see you going out on the pitch and doing things on the pitch, what comes to my mind quite often is how many times you've done that and it hasn't come off, or how many times you've practiced that just to make, and you make it look easy, but it's not easy at all. But the amount of effort you put in is just amazing.
Thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully
it's been a pleasure.
Enjoyed your coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best of luck for the rest
Thank
of
you
the season.
ever so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.